Hey, what's up guys, it's Wintergore here and welcome to my Halo 5 What to Expect from the Multiplayer video. The footage you're seeing right now is from alumni, so if you want to see more gameplay from them, make sure to check out twitch.tv channels in the description below. First up, one of the biggest changes in Halo 5, the removal of 4-player split screen. A moment of silence please for all of the siblings and LAN parties everywhere. The news was announced by Josh Holmes, the studio head for Halo 5 Guardians, as he said, "No split screen for beta unfortunately, we have local split screen for 2 players in final. My guess is that this will be purely for the co-op campaign. The reason for this change could be due to 343's interest in getting the game up to scratch with current gen releases." To get Halo 5 up to scratch, they increased the resolution and frame rate, bumping it up to 1080p 60 FPS. The decision for this was primarily due to the game launching on Xbox One, with Josh Holmes stating that, "We also made a decision to go to 60 FPS, which meant going back and re-engineering all of our gameplay systems from the ground up to focus on that. We've got new material system, new lighting system, new physics and new AI and dedicated servers. So like a few other recent games that made the jump, doubling the FPS effectively means that they can't support more than 2 players on a local split screen." Several maps were included in the beta. These range from 2 industrial city maps, 2 Covenant cruiser maps and 4 Forge created custom maps. When Halo 4 launched, it did so with 10 multiplayer levels, so when counting the levels we've seen so far, we have only seen 4 non-Forge maps, so my guess is that there is another 6 to 8 new maps awaiting us at launch. One of Halo 5's new maps is called Empire. Empire is set on an AMG transport dynamics facility in Andesia during the insurrectionist activity in its capital city Noxus. The map has views of several skyscrapers, one of which relates to Eden, another map in the beta. Eden is a nighttime map set on the top of a skyscraper. The map twists and turns all over the place and has one interconnected walkway running throughout its middle. This gives great coverage and access to other parts of the map. Truth takes place in an orbiting Covenant ship, while Regret, which is a reimagining of Truth, takes place in and around a crashed Covenant ship. The Forge maps featured in the beta were split between 2 locations, one being in space and the other being on the side of a mountain. I'm very interested to see how these maps will progress for people creating maps for them in the custom modes, as several of these maps were very key to the game modes, which we'll move on over to now. Halo 5 will go back to its roots by bringing back Halo 2's arena style multiplayer. One of the coolest things this brought back is the ability to launch weapons from their spawns by using grenade trick shots. The arena style will see combat focused around power weapon points and their respawn timers, which is great because ordnance drops from Halo 4 were considered a little too random for competitive play. These changes should help to define key control points in the map, overall making the esports matches a lot more entertaining to watch. As well as Team Slayer, 2 new modes called Stronghold and Breakout feature in the multiplayer beta. Stronghold is a lot like Halo 4's Dominion game, with a focus on holding at least 2 of the 3 objectives on the map to score points. These capture points can be contested and the first team to collect 100 points wins the match. Breakout is a 4-man race against the clock to eliminate the enemy team. Both teams start the game being launched via a man cannon into the central arena. You'll be armed with an SMG, an M6 Magnum and 1 frag grenade, and you'll have to pick up further weapons from the arena floor. The maps showcased on the beta were Crossfire and Trench. While both maps looked very similar aesthetically thanks to them both taking place on an orbiting UNSC training facility, the layout, weapon placement and overall play of the maps heavily differs. Thanks to the map's simpler design, this mode will no doubt be heavily supported by Forge creators, so expect to see some awesome community made maps making their way into the live matchmaking. This mode will definitely be a fan favourite for Halo veterans, as it brings back this sense of intense combat with a focus on tactics and team play that many veterans are thirsting for. While these 3 modes were prominently featured in the beta, it won't be the only playlist available in the full release, with fan favourites such as Big Team, Oddball, Capture the Flag and Flood sure to return. Now we'll move on to the core gameplay changes. Several features have been introduced into Halo 5, some of which are a staple in many emerging and current FPS games, the first of which is smart scoping. Smart scoping or aiming down sights isn't typically something many Halo veterans would wish for in the game, however 343 introduced several tweaks to this function, which means that it doesn't completely take away from the original Halo experience. The first tweak is that ADS will not increase the spread or recoil of the weapons, instead it only offers a very minor zoom when aiming, which helps to engage player at longer ranges. So if any of you guys are thinking that it will become vital to aim down sights, it actually won't. You can perform just as well from the default view. Shooting a player who is smart scoping will cause them to unscope, so many players will find themselves using the default view for the majority of play. Callouts are a staple feature in many emerging and current FPS games. They cause the player to broadcast an enemy's location or death to your team, which is something that would usually only be heard by more veteran players. This offers several benefits, as it should help players to attain extra awareness and map control through the audio cues and callouts. I can see this being particularly useful when teammates are either in party chat or have their mics turned off. The manoeuvrability of Halo 5 will be much greater than in Halo 2's multiplayer, thanks to the introduction of several abilities available to all players. Sprinting has returned, all players are able to sprint, however doing so will mean that your shields won't regenerate, so you'll have to pick and choose carefully to ensure that you don't get wrecked. When you reach peak velocity while sprinting, you will be able to perform two new moves. You can either slide along the ground to make yourself a harder target to hit, or you can perform a charge to take down your enemies. Mantling allows the player to clamber over obstacles that would usually limit your jump path or accessibility around the map. Previously in Halo 2 and 3 you would have had to perform jump tricks and other feats to hop up to places unreachable via the normal jump height. This new introduction should help to improve the flow of combat, allowing you to maintain momentum and flank your enemies. The Thruster Pack provides the player with a quick dash which can be used to either get to safety, strafe in and out of combat, or close the gap between you and your enemies with a sickening charge takedown. When you're airborne, you can use the Thruster Pack to perform a ground and pound, which allows you to aim a ground slam, dealing damage to players in a small area around where you will land. This opens up the opportunity to get some sweet multi-kills on unaware enemies, and I'm pretty sure this will be one of the things that you guys are all sharing over the Xbox recordings. For competitive, I can really see it being important to master these three aspects. Veteran players will scramble to find the best routes and spots on the map, which will allow them to traverse it safely or quickly get vision of key objectives and spawns. The beta features many returning weapons such as the Energy Sword, 3-shot burst battle rifle, semi-automatic DMR marksman rifle, M45D tactical shotgun, M6 Magnum handgun, MA5D fully automatic assault rifle, SRS-99 S5AM semi-automatic sniper rifle, and from Halo 4 and the Forerunners, the light rifle will also be returning. Some of the new weapons introduced are upgraded versions of those available in previous games. We have the M7K submachine gun, which can hold up to 60 bullets in a magazine. This has a higher damage at closer ranges than in previous versions. A new version of the 2-shot rocket launcher, which seems to be very effective in infantry play compared to the one that featured in Halo 4. This should set it up as a key weapon to obtain in the multiplayer. A new weapon in Halo, the Hydra Multiple Launch Rocket System, or MLRS for short, has 6 anti-burst missiles in its cylinder, which can be free-fired from the standard view, or when you aim down sights with a smart scope you can lock on these missiles. The last weapon featured in the beta is the Prophet's Bane, which is a modified version of the Type 1 Energy Sword. The weapon belongs to Thel Van Damme, who was the Arbiter from Halo 2 and 3. In the beta it was only usable on the multiplayer map Truth. For me this seems like a clue that we may find out what the Arbiter has been up to in Halo 5's campaign. The design of the weapon is considerably different from the Type 1 Energy Sword, as it features a handguard and the weapon is visually much whiter and brighter. Overall, Halo 5 should be one of the games to look out for in 2015. It's taken everything that made Halo 2 great and evolved it into a new experience for the franchise. I'm interested to hear what you guys thought of the Halo 5 beta, so if you have any of your own comments, you can drop them below. Thanks for watching guys, make sure to leave a like if you enjoyed the video, and make sure to check out Twitch channels in the description below. Thanks a lot for watching guys, and I'll see you guys next time.